So I was going to do something really special and really fun for this review. I wanted to do this review sitting inside of a DeLorean or sitting next to or in front of a real DeLorean, but couldn't find anyone who owned one. So I'm just going to sit here like I normally do for reviews, dressed as Marty McFly. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my movie channel. My name is Tom. Thank you very much for joining me for this, my review of Back to the Future. This film is a classic. As we all know, Ready Player One is coming out in just under a week now, and so I thought I would take the opportunity to review, a couple of the movies that are going to be referenced majorly in Ready Player One, those being The Iron Giant, which I have already reviewed, so you can go and check out that video on my channel right now. And of course, Back to the Future, because the DeLorean DMC time machine is going to play a pivotal role in the film Ready Player One. So, Back to the Future, wow. This movie is one of my all-time favorite films. Actually, the funny thing is, I'm only reviewing the first Back to the Future film, but it's not my favorite of the franchise. My favorite Back to the Future film is actually Back to the Future 3, which interestingly is most people's least favorite. But that's my favorite of the Back to the Future franchise. But we're doing the first film. The first film is amazing. First of all, Marty McFly. Casting of Michael J. Fox is just ingenious casting. Now, when you go and read up on the story of how he came to be in the role of Marty McFly, it's very, very interesting. For those of you who don't know, let me give you a quick rundown. So initially, they wanted Michael J. Fox, but they couldn't get him because he was caught up with another TV show and they couldn't work it out. So they ended up having to cast another actor, Eric Stoltz, in the role of Marty McFly, and they shot most of the movie with that actor. Then Michael J. Fox became available. So then they decided, do you know what? We wanted Michael J. Fox from the start. We're going to basically shoot the entire movie again with the actor we initially wanted in the role. And also I think at some point someone says something about, Eric Stoltz just being a very, very good actor, but not having as good a comedic timing as someone like a Michael J. Fox. He didn't have what they were looking for. It's a very interesting story, but we ended up getting Michael J. Fox in the role of Marty McFly, and I think it is inspired, brilliant casting. I love him in this movie. He brings like the right amount of, balance between humor, charm, and, he's also very, quirky. Quirky is the word. He's also very quirky. How can you not talk about my favorite character in the film, Doc Brown, played by Christopher Lloyd, played brilliantly, should I say, by Christopher Lloyd. Oh my god. Every time I watch a Back to the Future film, and every single second Christopher Lloyd's on screen, you're just captivated by him and by that character. The character is just so fun, so layered. There's not much more I can say about it. Doc Brown is he's just the best. And I love, the Libyans and all the, the stutteriness and the quirkiness of Doc Brown. The whole thing with him, testing the DeLorean with the time machine, and he puts the dog in there, and then he sends the time machine back in time or into 1 second into the future or whatever it is, and Marty thinks the dog's dead, but then the dog comes back and the whole thing is brilliant. And Christopher Lloyd is Doc Brown, man. There will never be... Back to the Future is one of those untouchable movies where, we're never going to see a remake of Back to the Future. At least I don't think so. And definitely not as long as Robert Zemeckis is alive, who is the director of Back to the Future. He has said for the longest time, you're not touching, you're not seeing a Back to the Future reboot, you're never going to see it. And I don't want one. I don't know anyone who does want one. I think if you do want one, you're a little crazy. What's really special about this film is the amount of relatability that's in it. Any one of us could be Marty McFly in that situation. We can all relate to this film. Even as someone who didn't grow up in the 80s. I can relate to this film. We can all relate to it. Going through high school. Wondering, we always had that question, like, I wonder what my parents were like when they were younger. And when Marty ends up meeting his parents, when they were his age, we're all like, yeah, that would probably be us, except for the part where your mum falls in love with you. But that's a... never mind. You know, being hassled by the high school bully in Biff, and how good is Thomas Wilson as Biff? That whole scene in the third act with him and George McFly, when George McFly finally grows some balls and punches him, you know, hey, you, get your damn hands off her. That whole thing is so good. Crispin Glover, by the way, as George McFly, as Marty's dad, might be, next to Doc Brown, might be my favorite part of this film. You know, we all remember the classic line, "I'm your density." So thank you very much for watching this review. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly enjoyed talking about one of my favorite films, but unfortunately I need to stop this video because this is like 2 layers of jacket and it's really hot. Remember to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thank you very much for watching once again, and I will talk to you guys next time. And don't take money, don't take fame, don't need no credit card to ride this train. Strong and it's sudden and it's cool sometimes. Oh shit.